And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, we've got a bit of breaking news for you this morning, and actually comes from Wales, and yet another primary school. Now, I want you to think back to maybe 5-10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, wherever you want to go. Did you ever hear about schools in the UK being forced into lockdown? Now, simply, just as an exercise, type in UK school lockdown onto British Stand. Just the videos that we've covered, and you'll see loads from just over the last month of us talking about incidents with regard to schools outside and then being forced into go to lockdown because children could potentially be at harm's way. Now, today we're heading to Wales, as the breaking news is that police have swarmed the school after, and the school, the UK primary school, has been forced to close after threats being made. Let's go break down this story. As always, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more, and let's go into what we know thus far with regard to this story. So, I'm sorry, wrong thing. I think that's okay. No. The problem is with this screen share, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. Either way, I'll get my screen up again and we'll go for it. But guys, get involved in the live chat if you haven't already. Yeah, we'll get this show on the road. Just give me a second. And there we go. Happy days. We're back. Bang. Bang. Cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Let's get into it. So as you can see, UK primary school forced to close as police swarm the area. Now, a school has been forced to shut in the UK after reportedly receiving threatening messages. Police in Dyfed Powys area of Wales swarmed the school surrounding on Monday morning, or Monday, November 3rd, following the concerning report. A statement made by the Llanhendy, Llanenec, Dafen and Fell police read, due to threatening messages being made online, Dyfen CP school in Llanelli will be closed today. Dyfed Powys police received information at around 2:30 a.m. that required safeguarding action to be taken. The police revealed the decision had been taken with Carmarthenshire County Council. Today, officers headed to the school and in the surrounding areas while inquiries are carried out, the statement added. Pupils, guardians and parents were set to head to the school on the evening of Monday for an open day event, which has been mentioned on Facebook. An online safety training event was organised on the same night and was set to be held in the school hall. The police stated they understood there could be concerns among parents and school staff following the message that was issued earlier this morning. The statement added, "We can assure that the necessary and appropriate safeguarding measures have been taken based on information received by Powys Police. We continue to work with Carmarthenshire County Council. No other schools have required closure in the local area. The force said it will make sure all of those affected are kept aware of the situation by issuing updates as soon as possible." Powys Police have also been contacted for comment. That's all the information we've got, and there's quite a lot of reports that we're currently seeing right now. The reason for this, and we're going to get to this in the second part of the story, I was doing a bit of research on a story that I was going to do a video on with regard to a UK primary school and then, comparing Reform, the Reform Party, to Nazis. So I was trying to dig into it, and then I seen this story come up and I was thinking, that doesn't look right. And as you can see, this is, of course, now getting reported everywhere, of course, as the school has been forced to shut down following threatening messages made online. But again, this is something that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis within the UK with regard to schools in areas, primary schools as well. I mean, what threatening messages to children between the ages of 4 to 11 are going to require a huge police presence and a school to shut down? It really, really does scare you, doesn't it? Thinking about it. And again, you would take it for this just being a one-off and going, well, yeah, that's just life. These things can happen. But again, as I keep on saying, just over the last month alone, I've reported on lockdowns, schools shutting down, just over the last month. in UK schools due to either a maniac cutting him out with a gun outside a local area, someone trespassing, two individuals jumping over the school gates, illegal immigrants jumping onto the school grounds and then forcing the school to go into a lockdown. But it doesn't seem as though anything is really happening. So there's a lot of schools shutting down, a lot of lockdowns happening, but again, it's just becoming the new normal, so to speak. But we haven't really got any further updates on this as of yet. That's kind of all we've got, but a few sort of articles here, and of course we're waiting for another update from the police as to what these threatening messages were, who they were from, and why it required such a large police presence to swarm the school. It was obviously very, very serious. And to go on to the point that I was trying to make here, I was going to make a separate video, but I suppose I'll just cover it as we're live now. Is that there has been a bit of a reveal here, so to speak, from schools. And I've spoke passionately about schools and what children are being taught. I don't like the idea. I always think schools should be very neutral. I always think that schools should operate on a unbiased mantra. They shouldn't be, a teacher shouldn't be able to sort of put their ideology onto other individuals. Now, unless this is coming from the top down, we've also seen a Labour County Council actually threaten a school teacher was a school teacher to be fired after she found out that she was a Reform supporter and said that she was a threat to the children. There was a lot of uproar about this, but now what we're seeing here is that schools are teaching kids Reform are Nazi extremists. It's been revealed that students across the UK are being taught that the Reform Party are extremists, equal to fascists. Some of the leaked teaching material was in the images below. As this user has said, your kids are not safe at British schools. I mean, look at this quickly here. This is diabolical. So when we're talking about right wing, right? I mean, you've got mainstream sort of supporters here. This is what they're saying. But now they're comparing Reform to be as close as to the Nazis. Some supporters do have extremist views. What constitutes as extremist views within the Reform Party? Well, because they want to secure their borders. How can political views lead to extremism? To understand the views of Reform UK and how they have influenced far-right and extreme views, to explain the impact of the rise of the far-right and extreme views in society and why this is a serious concern, to identify ways young people can remain safe online against extreme content, keywords, extremism, activities that reject British values like mutual respect and fully intolerant towards others, reject democracy as a means of governance, or reject existing social order. So these are the kind of things that children within the UK are being taught. And this doesn't surprise me because I've told you before, we literally had that Labour councillor, the Labour Council come out with a post asking a teacher to resign from her position because she was a supporter of Reform. They are literally trying to psyop the population into believing supporting Reform is like supporting the Nazi Party, or it's very extreme to do so. Reform, in my personal opinion, are centre-ish right, their views. They have the views of a very normal country, and that's secure borders. I don't think they go anywhere towards any mere racism or anything like that. They're very centre, I would say centre-right, but back in sort of 20, 30 years ago, that would just been normal things. Don't let invaders come into your country, secure your borders, and then, of course, cut down on reckless spending. Don't buy into DEI, which is also a weird psyop that's been happening across the UK over the last sort of 20 years. I think it's just very normal things, But again, now they're trying to make people believe that these political views are comparable with Nazism, which is absolutely diabolical within itself. Now, let's get into the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all well. I'm going to take some comments from this one. as we're saying. And I know a lot of people are probably just tuning in. I did cover 2 stories. So for those of you just tuning in for this one, his school has been put into a lockdown or a shutdown after online threats were made to a UK primary school. The police have swarmed the area and there has been a huge police presence there. However, we haven't really got any more information as to what this threat was. Just simply that there was a threat. And that's it. That's the only information that we've got at this moment in time. So we just got to wait for another update. But of course, a lot of the mainstream media, a lot of the rags, of course, have approached the police for further comments, but not have yet to get a response on it as of yet. It's a very good point. I always love that. I always see the left use that as an example. Anything that they don't like, they just call it Nazi. Well, really, you have to look at it, and as you say, Nazis were socialists. It's a very interesting way that they've tried to tie up the whole world in making the belief that the Nazis were some sort of, capitalist organization. They were very much of the left-wing mantra in terms of the way they operated countries with socialism. Reform definitely is central. Exactly. It is. The problem is, because far right now, things that, far right, I mean, I'm far right now, I'm a far right, whatever, everyone, everyone's a far right. It doesn't matter who you are. If you want boats to stop, you're far right, bearing in mind. Just normal things 20 years ago, like secure borders, like the sort of blueprint for any country to not just let random people into your country. Now that's deemed as far right. It's like, okay, well, why are you making it a criminal offense then? So they do a very good job at psyoping. And you know what the master plan is. So this wouldn't surprise me if it was coming from, I mean, we've seen that Labour post. I mean, I did a video on it like 2 weeks ago. The Labour Council that literally wrote a public post asking a teacher to resign because she was a supporter or a member of reform. What they're trying to do, you heard Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, of course, talk about why they let all these illegal migrants in. And they're going to continue to do so, as of course, the Home Office have already admitted that they are now they're in talks to secure deals till 2039 for housing these illegal migrants. So they're not going to stop the boats. As Elon Musk was saying, the reason for that is because they want them to come in. They want the invasion to continue so they can win voters. So that's happening in one place. Then you're trying to sign up the younger generation. The young mind is very, very vulnerable. This is why it's important for parents to question what their children are being taught. When I was younger, you would have an unbiased teacher, right? They didn't politicize you. They didn't put their viewpoints onto you. You were taught maths and English. And yeah, you probably could have a personality from your teacher, but, they weren't psyoping you. Now the Labour government's way of doing things is psyoping the younger generation. So they grow up thinking, oh, if you like reform, then you are close to being a Nazi and you're an extremist. You are part of the problem. I mean, it's a very, very smart tactic from Labour. And that's why Keir Starmer has all the confidence in the world that he's going to be doing 10 years. Because it's all a part of the master plan. Despite the polls representing something completely different, and he's the most unpopular prime minister in all of history, he's doing something a part of the master plan. Allowing the illegals in, housing them, winning votes there, and then psyoping the younger generation, psyoping the young children, the young minds, to grow up as Labour supporters. Because how old would they be? I mean, all the schools, some of them are 16 years old, and they can vote when they're 16, bringing the voting age down. So a lot of these ones, of course, that are being psyoped through the school system, well, they're going to be able to turn into voters very soon, especially by 2029. They'll be able to vote for them in. I mean, it's a dirty tactic, but if you're hated as you are for Keir Starmer, it's fairly smart. But it's a psyop, and you should refute that in whatever way possible. But it's the problem with these schools. I already did, guys. It was at the start of the live stream. I've also did a conclusion of it. As stated, just rewind it. I've spoke about the primary school and the shutdown and the police swarm there earlier on. Home education is great if you have the time to look after your children. Unfortunately, many have to work. Yeah, no, exactly. But what I'm saying is that children shouldn't have to feel, children or parents shouldn't have to feel that their children could potentially being psyoped by a teacher with certain ideologies. It should be unbiased education. And as for these school lockdowns that we keep hearing about, police presence at schools when incidents happen, this is coming all too often. Never heard of it ever before. A school being put into lockdown, a school being shut down, police swarming area due to threats. Never ever heard of it. Never heard of intruders jumping over fences. Never heard of anyone coming over a fence and trying to break into a school within the UK. Now in other countries this may be normal, but in the UK I'd never heard of it before. But over the last year, especially the last couple of months, I've seen a lot of reports, and I've reported on it personally a lot as well. Wales is fucked. Exactly. Update, where is this school concerned? It's in Wales, ladies and gentlemen. The school is in Wales, and apologies for my Welsh pronunciation for those tuning in. The school is... oh my God, my Welsh is horrendous. In terms of the words, in terms of the reports, is very difficult. It's called Lalafell. I think in the county of Powys. So I suppose my geography of Powys is Brecon, near towards Brecon, that sort of area. But guys, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. That's all we've got. For those of you just tuning in, we did cover the full story at the start of the stream, so maybe go back and then that will, of course, keep you up to date with what's going on. But guys,